What's up, YouTube? Robert the Coroner Drapp. I am here with this week's first edition, the first ever edition of the Wrestling Recap Wednesday. It's gonna be a big one, and it's actually gonna be really tough because the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view happened, and that was a Smackdown Live exclusive pay-per-view, which means only the members that were on the Smackdown roster got to participate in this. And even some of those guys just know why. I didn't watch it. Just the card sounded terrible, and I was like, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste 3 hours trying to watch this when I have many better things to do. So, rather than waste your time and mine with that one, I will leap straight into Monday Night Raw. Now, I will note that I missed probably the most important segment on this week's episode, which came to us live from Indianapolis, Indiana, which they were very, very, very keen on telling us this is where the Sheild formed. Yeah. So, the former tag team trio of Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns originated on a Raw in that city. And then this week we have The Miz coming out to apparently start running down the rest of the roster, giving out awards, and Roman Reigns comes out. Miz taunts him a bit. I did go back and watch some of it, like the highlights, and apparently Roman's just like, Miz is like, oh, they're all rumors. You're not getting back together with Seth and Dean. It's all just hype. He's like, what rumors? Here they come. And Dean comes out first, followed by Seth. They go down to the ring, destroy the Miztourage, destroy the Miz, give him... he gets hit by Dean Ambrose and Dirty Deeds, and then they turned around and gave him the Sheild triple powerbomb, which is where Seth and Dean set whoever on top of Roman's shoulders, and then they all push him down in a powerbomb. So, the Sheild is back together, and not even like 20 minutes later, they get fucking shirts. Like, this was a thing that had already been discussed, and they had decided, oh no, yeah, we're going to go on ahead and let you have shirts now. Not coming out to the old entrance theme. Just, doing your thing. I want to stress very, very badly how much I don't like what's going on. Not because I don't want to see the Sheild back together, because I do. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins having their reunion was what made Raw really good for a couple weeks, because Seth had turned on the Sheild. He had hit him in the back with a couple chairs, decimated them. And then now we have Seth going to Dean to ask to form a tag team to be forgiven. And that whole redemption line was compelling television. We didn't have that with this. And if you're wondering why, because I have been at least keeping up to date with like the spoilers or the results after an episode of Raw. Allow me to tell you why. WWE doesn't actually want the Sheild to stay cohesive. They don't want another another stable in WWE on Raw because they don't care. What they care about is getting Roman Reigns to be popular with everybody. They want him to be over. And I feel bad for the guy. I really do. Because here in the last couple weeks, actually right after WrestleMania, he started doing some of the best work he's done in years. I.e., just this, I don't give a fuck. You have all booed me. I don't care. I'm the best. I beat The Undertaker. I retired The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You all are gonna just have to suck it up. I'm the man. This is my yard. Okay, that's a personality. But his his moves in the ring are so in need of something. I'm not asking for a technical masterpiece like something, Kurt Angle put on, or AJ Styles, or Shinsuke Nakamura, or Ty Dillinger can do. I don't need to see that from Roman. I need to see more of what he can do, more playing to his strengths than you're showing me, and I'm not seeing it. I don't particularly enjoy a lot of Roman Reigns matches because it's the same thing. Superman punch, maybe a Samoan drop somewhere in there, and then spear. 1, 2, 3. Over. But no, this is not a thing. So they've brought the members of the Sheild back together to destroy the Miz, Taraj, and the Miz. They are now going to be scheduled here in 2 weeks for a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It's going to be Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas, and the Miz against the Sheild. Now, there's a little bonus added into this, but we'll get there. Actually, the next match on the card, if I'm recalling correctly, was Braun Strowman versus Matt Hardy. Okay. In universe, Matt should have known not to go after Braun Strowman. Should have just been like, nope, I'm smarter than that. But no, he decided to challenge Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman destroyed him. Matt got in a twist of fate, but that got a 1 count. And there was after he kicked out, he's like, "What are you?" Literally, in the ring, he looks at Braun Strowman, "What are you?" Like, just shocked. Because Matt Hardy's won championships individually. And this would really have cemented, well, no, you have to feed Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman's going to be the guy. And I'm trying to look at it long term. Because Brock Lesnar beat Samoa Joe. Then he beat Braun Strowman. The next rumored match for him is going to be Finn Balor. He's going to destroy Finn Balor. Because you have to feed Brock Lesnar. You've got to make him look strong. Because at WrestleMania 34, Vince is very high on the idea of having Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title, and Roman's going to win. So in New Orleans, they're going to have Roman Reigns win. I am completely against this. Why? Because Brock Lesnar shouldn't be Universal Champion, number one. He should have lost to either Samoa Joe or Braun Strowman, because he's not going to show up again. We don't even know when he's going to show up again. Rumor has it that they've tacked on some extra dates coming up here in the next couple months, so that way, I think it's at Survivor Series is when he's rumored to be in action next. That's his next match. He's going to take the Raw before Survivor Series. He's going to come in. Finn Balor's going to challenge him, and he's going to lose. That's how that's going to work, because WWE brass apparently want to have somebody in line, somebody there in Houston for Survivor Series, because John Cena's not going to be there. They need another main attraction, so they're calling on Brock Lesnar. You want to do Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns and have Roman go over? Fine. Here's how I'd book it, because you're not going to book it the way that I would have liked you to have booked it last time. Here's how you do it. You really want to make this special? Finn Balor pulls out an upset victory at Survivor Series. Just shock everybody. Finn Balor wins, regains the championship he had never lost. Had to fight the Beast to do it. And this has got to go longer than 5 minutes. This has to be the longest match Brock Lesnar has had in years. So, when you have Finn Balor beat him, the next man in line has got to be Roman Reigns. This will give you your out, because we all know they want to put the title on Roman. We all know they want Roman to fight Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. We all also know that Brock Lesnar works a very, very small number of dates during the entirety of the calendar year, and his calendar schedule is such to the point where he doesn't really work all that much. And he gets paid $6 million a year. Come in, do a couple of German suplexes, couple F5s, suplex city bitch. Done. Collect a paycheck. Now, with this whole thing with Jones in the UFC, having failed another drug test, dude, you gotta fire that guy. You have got to fire him. He's got to go. Done. After UFC 200, where he tested positive for cocaine. No, you're not going to clean yourself up. So, bye. Brock Lesnar doesn't have a reason to go back to UFC. He really doesn't. He doesn't need to. He can want to, and I'm sure that they'd love to have him back. He's still serving the suspension, so earliest he could do it is probably January. But he's got to get in, and he doesn't really have they don't really have a money opponent for him. So there's no reason for Brock Lesnar to turn around and go do this. So he won't do it. Now, that being said, that gives WWE a good leverage for next year's the next contract negotiation, being like, hey, we were going to let you go. We had this all set up. You were here for this. But they fucked you over. They're not giving you anything. They're not allowing you to do any fights there. So, to hell's the point. Just come here, work a few more weeks. We'll give you some more money. Make it $7 million a year. not hard. $7 million a year. You work, instead of the 30 days he works or whatever it is, he works maybe 60, maybe 45. Give him a couple extra weeks. And the point I'm making with that is, he's holding the title hostage at the moment. So, by having Brock Lesnar as your champion at all, with any title, this is not going to benefit you. Because you have to also account for the fact that he won't be there. But by giving it back to Finn Balor, this makes him look super strong, gives Brock Lesnar an in for WrestleMania that he doesn't have to worry about. He doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble. He doesn't have to come in and win the Elimination Chamber. All he has to do is step in and say, listen, yeah, you defended your championship against Finn Balor at the Royal Rumble. Great. You defended your championship against all these guys at the Royal Rumble, at the Elimination Chamber. Wonderful. But guess what? I have a rematch clause. I'm due a rematch. I'm taking it out on you. Let's do this. Simple. Makes sense. You get Roman going over Brock Lesnar, who is still amazing, who is still fucking Brock Lesnar, so no. Doesn't matter if he loses to Finn Balor. What's that going to do? What's that going to do to Finn? Rises stock. If he steals one, if he comes out full demon paint, decides Brock Lesnar, and he comes out first, obviously. The challenger comes out first. Comes out, sees Brock Lesnar coming, and Brock Lesnar is massive. Runs over, grabs a chair, beats the fuck out of him. Just no fucks given, beats the hell out of him, rolls him in the ring. Brock Lesnar stands up. He's kind of woozy, and the ref's like, are you okay? And Finn's just not even having it. He's keeping at it. And they prize him apart. You ready? Okay. You ready? Okay. Go. And, he goes to give him an F5, but Finn reverses it to, a reverse DDT or something, and then, hooks the leg with his own leg and rolls him back onto his shoulder, or, does whatever he has to do, grabs the leg, folds Brock Lesnar over, 1, 2, 3, done. And then, because he managed this, he rolls over, grabs the title, rolls out of the ring and up the ramp before Brock Lesnar can get to him. Because as badass as the Demon King is, he knows how badass Brock Lesnar is, how amazing he is, and that kind of victory will not hurt Brock Lesnar. Finn Balor has to work his way through the rest of the year until Royal Rumble. Yeah, that's how he does it. He works his way to the Royal Rumble, where he has to face Roman Reigns. Roman beats him at Royal Rumble. Elimination Chamber is where he gets his rematch in the chamber. He loses. Roman is the champion going into WrestleMania, and Brock Lesnar shows back up. That's how you do that. I don't think they will, but they should. So, back to Raw. Braun Strowman has had enough of messing around with Matt Hardy. Gives him a choke slam, running power slam, 1, 2, 3. Gives him another running power slam. Decides he's going to take him up the ramp. I guess he was going to hurl him into the LED board. And the Sheild come out in their new shirts. And they all start beating on Braun Strowman. Braun fights back a bit, but 3-on-1. They get him down. They get him up onto Roman's shoulders and powerbomb him through the announce table. Fine. You want to make the emphatic statement that Braun Strowman is a monster and that these guys together can beat anybody? That wasn't a bad way to go about it, but there was a cruiserweight match that nobody cares about, so that don't need it. See, and there was a cruiserweight match at the end of the show that I was really keen on. Now, also, I have to mention that two things. One, the reason I'm not giving a complete review is because I'm also trying not to look at my phone because, hey, I want to talk to you the way I feel about it. And I had also been running back here to try and upload and, do all I had to do to get Mixed Up Monday on YouTube so you guys could watch it. But, that took up a lot of time, and my roommate decided that there should be intermittent Facebook checks. So she was checking Facebook on that TV. So the only other thing that was really notable was Callisto getting his Cruiserweight Championship match. Enzo had come out and said, okay, you want me to defend the Cruiserweight Championship again at TLC against Callisto? Fine, I'll do it. I don't care. You can't do this. And Kirk pointed out, well, I made that agreement before I signed Callisto. So everybody on that list, everybody that was a part of the division at the time, is who it applied to. I went out afterwards and got Callisto. So, you're screwed. So, you want to defend your championship? Fine. You'll do it tonight. Alright, fine. You want me to do it tonight? I'll do it in the main event. Alright, fine. You want to do it in the main event? It's going to be a lumberjack match. So you can't just get counted out or disqualified. And the entire 205 Live division are going to be the Lumberjacks. So there was a fair amount of Enzo getting thrown outside and them all, beating the hell out of him, throwing him back in. The highlight of the match was really the Super Salida del Sol that Callisto did. Although he looked like a fucking budget Saiyan the whole time. His jacket that he was wearing had looked, had the segmented chest and abdomen, and it had spikes coming out the side. So I was like, this motherfucker looks like a budget Saiyan here. What the hell? Gets him, runs up top, flipsy, pins him 1, 2, 3. So Callisto is now the Cruiserweight champion. I would like to say that this would be a point where the Cruiserweight division is going to, take a step away from all the stuff that they've done in the last year and a half. But they're not. They're not going to step away from the things that they've been doing. They're not going to give us the original Cruiserweight classic, more of that, please, kind of wrestling. They're just going to do their own shit. So, that's what that is. We did have Finn Balor come out talking about Bray Wyatt, saying that Bray Wyatt's going to bring back Sister Abigail, and Sister Abigail's alive, and I really kind of don't care. And I say that as a question because I feel like I want to. I feel like I want to care about what's going on with Bray Wyatt, with Sister Abigail, because Sister Abigail has been one of the biggest, mysteries that have been in the WWE. Sister Abigail, apparently the source of Bray Wyatt's power. And Randy Orton burned the house down with where she was buried. And I mean, apparently she's alive, and now she lives in Bray Wyatt. What the fuck? I mean, come on, WWE, pick a fucking lane. Acknowledge you did a thing. Acknowledge that these events in the past have occurred. Acknowledge the things that you did. Do not erase your own history. You can't just call backsies on that shit. And now he's supposed to be even more powerful. He looked fucking stupid. Because the rumor had been that we were going to get a female wrestler to be Sister Abigail. Fine. That's fine. Do it. Do that. Do that. Because then you have Bray Wyatt, female wrestler of your choice. Fuck it. Bring in Bo Dallas, because why not? He's in the Miztourage, but it doesn't really matter because they've kind of crushed the Miztourage, and I'll get to that in a minute. And so, why not put him doing something fun? He actually is legitimately related to Bray Wyatt, so fuck it, why not? But no, they have Bray looking even more ragged than usual, having face paint and voice changer put over it, and that's apparently his Sister Abigail now lives in me, and he cut a promo that I didn't hate it, because that's the thing about Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt cuts an amazing promo, but can't do shit in the ring, always losing. But no, we have to deal with that now, and apparently it actually does freak out Finn Balor. It actually did. So we will see how this progresses at tables, ladders, and chairs to see what kind of match this is going to be. It'll be interesting. We see The Miz talking to Kurt Angle in the back. He says, oh, well, the Sheild say they can take on anybody, anywhere, anytime. 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 5-on-1, doesn't matter. Okay. I want you to hold them to their word. It's going to be me, Cesaro and Sheamus, and Braun Strowman. And actually he had said, and our new guy. And Braun Strowman, like, busts the door in, comes in, just to kind of growl at Kurt Angle. And Kurt legitimately looks scared, because Braun Strowman is a fucking refrigerator stacked on a refrigerator. Surrounded in brick. He is massive. So that much muscle coming at me, I'd be a little worried. So that's who's going to face the Sheild at tables, ladders, and chairs. So that'll be interesting. We move now to Smackdown. We start Smackdown with the Usos, who come out, and one of them is limping. I want to say Jimmy was limping. He was wearing a sleeveless shirt. He had his elbow and his wrist taped, and he's wearing a sleeveless shirt, no hat, just coming out there. And then Jay, he had his hat like this. One, I think that looks dumb because you could not see his eyes. So a lot of the emotion that may have been there just didn't get there, but what happened next was even more incredible. The Usos had beaten the New Day at Hell in a Cell in the Hell in a Cell match. And they call the New Day out. They're like, listen, we went home last night. We got on the plane. We got in the cab. I couldn't barely move. I mean, I couldn't. My wife, my kids, they asked me, "Oh, Daddy, what's wrong with your eye? Are you okay? Are you doing all right?" And you had to tell them, yeah. But the fact of the matter is, we went in there and you guys didn't flinch. And you guys, we went through hell on that one. So, we've gone back and forth on this for this long. I'm ready to call no more because I don't want to do that again. And so the New Day's like, oh, so you want to call... So the Usos want to call a truce. Is this a Us truce? Is this a truce, Us? I wanted to laugh, and I think that it's funny, but that, saying, okay, we're not going to do this anymore, is one of those things that I didn't expect that WWE would do. I thought they would put together another match and the New Day loses, but they're not going to do it anymore. So the next thing that happens is, who was it? Oh, the Hype Bros. Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley comes out in a shirt that does not have sides or sleeves. Because shirts are confusing to big men like that. Zack Ryder, I want to say he looked like a fucking Sentai villain. He had this jacket. He wasn't wearing a shirt. He had the jacket on, and it had spikes, and it had tails, and it was like white and purple, and then in the center it had ZR. It was crazy. I was like, dude, the fuck are you doing? What the shit? So you get them coming out talking about taking the New Day spot, being the next in line. That's when Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin came out. They said, why don't you give the team that actually won at Hell in a Cell last night, that won their match, that beat the shit out of the Hype Bros, the number one contendership. So that's when we get the rest of the tag team division. Breezango, the Ascension, they both come out. And they're like, and they don't even get to... The Ascension were going to cut a promo. They all had microphones. Or rather, I think the Fashion Police did, and Chad Gable had one, along with the hype, like Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder sharing one, and the Ascension had one between them. And as soon as they come down the ramp, Daniel Bryan comes, and he's like, listen, this is not the night for this shit. Usos, New Day, get out of the ring. Get out of the ring now. I am the general manager of this place, and you will listen to me when I say, we're not doing this, you're going to get out of the ring now. And they're like, and at this point, because they were vacating the ring at this point, Like, you could even see, like, Kofi. He was like, the hell, man? We're going. Fine. You guys all want to be number one contender? Fine. We're going to have a fatal four-way tag team match for the number one contendership. What the fuck? Seriously, that is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Okay, you want to crown the number one contender. Good. You want to have a solid way to define that. Great. Put two teams together. Okay, you got the Breezango and Gable and Benjamin. You guys are gonna mix it up. Hype Bros and Ascension. You guys are gonna mix it up. The winner of of those two matches is gonna face are going to face each other next week on Smackdown for the right to be named number one contender. This will solve that problem. But no. Fatal four-way tag matches are stupid as hell because apparently you can tag in at any time and you can tag anybody. And no! Stop it! Make it a tag team match. Make it legitimate. Make it unambiguous. But no, they wanted to just do it all at once. And the next tag match that I'm going to talk about was even stupider. Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton versus Rusev and Aiden English. What the fuck was the point of this match? Why? A 2-on-1 handicap match, Aiden English and Rusev versus Randy Orton, makes sense. They all have history. They've all mixed it up. They got grievances against each other. Let's do this. But no, you want to stick Shinsuke Nakamura on the card just to get him on there. No. Dumb. Didn't need to happen. The predictable outcome happened. Shinsuke Nakamura hit Aiden English with a Kinshasa after Rusev got an RKO from Randy Orton. 1, 2, 3, they win. Meaningless. Move on. There was a backstage segment between Natalya, Lana, and Tamina, who are, again, useless. Becky Lynch shows up because I guess she wants to claim that she deserves to be next in line. And then Charlotte comes in, and Charlotte was not looking happy. And all it took was Natty mentioning Ric Flair, for her to catch an elbow to the teeth. And then I think Becky Lynch faced Carmela, if I'm not mistaken. No, it was it was. It was faced Becky Lynch. Carmela won. It didn't matter, because she's got the money in the bank. It doesn't matter if she wins or loses. You want to make her look strong? Fine. What should have happened after No Mercy was... I'm sorry, at Hell in a Cell was when Charlotte lost. Carmella should have... Or, like, mid-match, Carmella, no music, just comes out. Ellsworth on a chain. Which, that's creepy. I mean, I'm into my stuff, and everybody has their own kinks, and I try not to kink shame anybody, but that's just weird what you're doing, WWE. Don't do it anymore. You need to stop it now. kind of is what it is, I guess. We have one more match. I'm pretty sure. Let me think about it, because oh yeah, because they had one match before. Oh yeah, it was like Bobby Roode comes out to call out. I'm sorry. Bobby Roode comes out to talk about his victory at Hell in a Cell against Dolph Ziggler, and what he mentions, or I think does not mention, is that he grabbed the tights when he rolled up Dolph Ziggler. Rolled him up, grabbed the tights, got the 1, 2, 3. But Dolph, in his new entrance, is like, he'll play like the first 10 seconds of his theme song and then turn around and cut it and walk out. Just no lights, no music, just walks out. And he brings up the point that he wants a rematch because Bobby Roode grabbed the tights. Bobby Roode wasn't the better man. And he's like, I was just smarter than you. A little bit of that heel Bobby coming through, and I want to see more of it. I enjoyed Bobby Roode being a cocky prick on NXT. Just, I'm going to start making everything doing everything I have to do to prove to you guys that I'm the guy that runs the show around here. But Kevin Owens beat Shane McMahon at Hell in a Cell thanks to the help of Sami Zayn, of all people. And everybody has, the question during the week has always been, why? Why did Sami help Kevin? And I won't play it because I don't know how I can play this, but go back and look at the promo from that Kevin Owens gives. He's basically talking about, I was dead. Shane McMahon had me and I would have been dead. I would have been unrevivable. And then St. Peter tells me that I'm put on this earth to do what I do best. And that the world needs Kevin Owens. So Sami Zayn comes out there and he basically says, listen, I thought you were wrong for so long. I thought that if I kept my chin up and if I kept working hard that I would get the chances that I'm owed because, hard work pays off. But I was on Raw for as long as I was and I just kept getting screwed. And Shane McMahon comes along and says that it's deplorable how they're treating me. It's wrong that they're misusing my talents. That Smackdown is the land of opportunity and that he wanted to give me the opportunity to come over. And so I did. He said everything I wanted to hear. And then I realized and it took a moment. The moment it took for me to realize that he lied to me was when I went back there to warn him about you. Because I hadn't seen him in months. Not since he signed me. And so I run into him in the back and I'm like, hey, no, you need to listen about this. And he brushed me off with, you worry about your mat, you worry about your problems, I'll worry about Kevin Owens. And that's when I realized, not only does he not care about you, not only does he not care about me, He doesn't care about anybody but Shane McMahon. He doesn't even care about his father. He doesn't care about his sister. He doesn't care about his kids. He doesn't care about his family. He cares solely about Shane McMahon. So, that's why I did it. Because no McMahon will ever give you the opportunity. You got to take them. So now Sami Zayn's a heel. It was a really good section, really good promo. Highly recommend it. The last match of the night: Baron Corbin versus AJ Styles. There was one point, and I haven't checked like Pro Wrestling Sheet or any of the dirt sheets for rumors on AJ Styles, but I get the feeling we're not going to see AJ for a while. Sad. But what he did in that match, I'm not certain he's not legitimately injured. So, he like gets him up on his shoulder and hefts him up over. This is towards the very end of the match, and like drops his shoulders onto drops Baron's shoulders onto his knee. Baron Corbin is a former linebacker. He is a big boy, a big beefy boy, and AJ Styles kind of isn't. He's not a small guy, but he's not as big as Baron Corbin. And he did it, and you could see the ref go over to, "You okay? Just give me a minute." So I'm certain that the end of this match was that the choreography of this match was altered at that point because he messed up his knee, and it wasn't bad enough that he had to stop, but it was bad enough that they had to change a few things. But in the end, Baron Corbin retains the U.S. Championship with an end of days. So, I would like to see this as the last we see of AJ Styles in the U.S. title picture. Like, this frees him up to go, because what I would want to see next week, a number one contenders match. You have Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Why not? Either Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn. That's your fourth to be put into the WWE title picture as number one contender to face Jinder Mahal. And I think it would be an amazing match. It gets AJ away from the U.S. title. It gives Bobby Roode somebody amazing to work against that he's never worked against, and Shinsuke Nakamura again, just a damn good wrestler, and whoever else they pick is going to just be a third man. He may just be there to, maybe it's just triple threat. It would be fine as a triple threat, but. And I think that the next progression for Baron Corbin, as far as his line of going, it needs to be Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger needs to be the babyface that chases and cuts damn good promos. In fact, I don't even know if I wouldn't just take a microphone, go out there and cut a promo. Just be like, cue up my music, I'm going out there. What? Yeah, I mean, they schedule a promo for him, and no matter what they have him to say, just turn around, flush it down the toilet, cut the promo of your career. Cut a promo that'll make them remember you as the perfect 10. And then turn around Braun and have him face Baron Corbin for the U.S. title. And have, like, Baron Corbin gets himself disqualified. Baron Corbin gets himself counted out. Baron Corbin doesn't win, but keeps taking these shortcuts and cheapskate moves that Daniel Bryan's like eventually like, listen, no, you have cheated this whole time. I've watched you cheat. I haven't been able to do anything about it because your match is your match and I can't step in the middle of that, but I'm going to turn around and I'm going to stop you from cheating because I'm sick of everybody cheating. I'm sick of the Singh brothers interfering in every Jinder Mahal match. I'm sick of you getting yourself to champions getting themselves disqualified. If champions want to be champions, they need to act like champions. Act like brand ambassadors. Do what you have to do. Wrestle a damn good match. And if you're really the better man, you will win. It won't matter. You won't have to cheat. But if you cheat, title switches. That's how this is going to end. I'm going to end it. And like I said, I think that would be a wonderfully intriguing storyline. So, there is NXT tonight, but I don't watch NXT, not because I don't like it, because I really do, but because I don't have WWE Network, because, well, I don't really know if I'd actually watch it on time, like when it releases, or if I'd just fuck around and watch it on Thursday or something, like when I'm not doing anything. Oh, NXT TakeOver Houston is now NXT TakeOver War Games. So, for all us old WCW fans, you get to see War Games. It'll be amazing. Thank you for watching. Robert the Corner Drapp here saying, please like, comment, subscribe, bell for notifications, do all that fun stuff. And I will see you all next time.